There's this thing artists do that's really hard for me to watch, especially because I've been there. I think most of us creatives have at some point. When art gets difficult to the point that it's costing you your happiness, depriving you of your well-being, it's easy just to shrug and say to yourself, well, that's the price. There's almost a romance to it, as if we sort of like fancying ourselves tortured artists because it allows us to see ourselves as martyrs for our work, which we think gives it more value. But I don't think art has to be like that. In fact, I don't think things have to be that way for any passion. Not entirely. And there's a scene I read in a book recently which put this into such beautiful terms, I thought I had to share it with you. It's a difficult conversation to approach well, but this little moment of story makes it so much easier. I want to tell you about the concept of belly song in Jordan Ifueko's book, Raybearer. A big thanks to our friends at World Anvil for sponsoring this video. I feel so lucky that we get to have sponsors for stuff we actually like. World Anvil is amazing. Do yourself a favor and check it out. Links in the description. There is just one scene in the book I want to tell you about here, but you have to understand a little bit more about the story for it to make sense. The main character, Teresai, is no ordinary person. I mean, of course not, she's the main character. But those differences also put her into a weirdly relatable situation too. Not only is she basically royalty, an advisor to a crown prince, she's also the daughter of a wish-granting spirit, a magical being trapped and forced into a relationship by her mother. Teresai carries his blood in her veins, which means she also carries his curse and is bound to grant her mother's wish. And that wish? To kill the beloved crown prince whom she serves. There are magics at play in this world, which make her one of the only few people capable of doing so. It's a cunning and cruel plan, and when Teresai finds out, she spends a lot of her life mourning her fate and searching frantically for a way out of it. For a long time, it looks hopeless to her, until her father tells her perhaps the one and only way she could find freedom.
Only one thing is more powerful than a wish, he says, and that is a purpose.
It's a glimmer of hope, but only a faint one. Some people spend their entire lives searching for a purpose after all. She doesn't have that luxury. A life and the world are on the line. So, now you understand where this character is in life, trapped between a rock and a hard place, in desperate need to find her purpose before the wish curse destroys her world. In the scene that caught my attention, that stirred me enough to want to make this entire video, she's talking about all of this with her close friend, Kyra. She's exhausted. She doesn't know what to do or how even to begin looking for her grand purpose. Who does? But like many things, the truth is hidden in story. Kyra remembers something she was taught as a child. The traditional story of the belly song. The place closest to your soul isn't your heart, she tells Teresai. It's your stomach. Anger, love, and sorrow simmer together there, like bubbles in a cauldron. People of the wing believed that when the pelican breathed each soul into being, it wrote two secrets on a burning coal. Your greatest good and your best desire. You swallowed the coal before being born, and it burned in your belly. That's why we wail as newborns, Mama would say. People have many gifts, but our greatest good is the one we can't contain. Compassion, loyalty, softness, fierceness. The ability to win hearts, or recognize beauty, or weather a storm. Our gift could be anything, really. And when we use our greatest good for something beyond ourselves, that's our best desire, our purpose. But the coal inside us gradually grows colder. We forget our cry as newborns, our belly song. We forget our knowledge of why Am made us, and our frustration at being too small and weak to fulfill it. We grow old and content, and unless we try very, very hard, we never wail our belly song again. And the story, the idea of finding her belly song, helps. Instead of visualizing purpose as some grand thing decided for her by fate itself, she's able to look inward. Beneath everything, beneath her terrible curse, her love for the prince, her confused situation, she sees it. She has a will that she can't ignore, a gift of compassion and dedication that makes the best of all her desires, one that will change the world. Instead of saving the prince, she knows that her purpose is to end the cruel system her abusive mother is a part of altogether, to bring her people justice and freedom. In the end, this is the purpose that she finds, and just as her father said, it is enough to break the curse. I said at the start that although Teresa's situation is, shall we say, an unusual one, she's a lot like we are. Well, maybe now you're starting to see how. No, you and I are not wish-cursed beings on a course to murder royalty, but often our desires and our needs can be just as cruel to us. You get caught up in being comfortable or brilliant or famous or perfect or fulfilling the expectations others have of you, and you slip serenely into a life of resignation. It feels like fate. It feels like what you are destined for, and the best you can do is to treat it like a noble sacrifice. You become your own martyr. You become the tortured artist. It's a wish you make of yourself, and in so doing, a curse you cast upon yourself. But the story tells us that there's a way to defeat that, too. If you can only find your purpose, the curse can be broken, and you can be freed. Unfortunately, just like Teresa, that won't necessarily help you all on its own because what does it even mean to find purpose? You'll find different answers to that question in different places. This is a hotly discussed part of life, but I think when most people use the term purpose in this way, what they're talking about is a need. Not a need like food or shelter or society or pleasure, a need that identifies, one that climbs past all those more existential needs and touches your soul. The need for self-actualization. And yes, I'm referencing Maslow's hierarchy of needs here because I think it provides some useful language, but I like how the book puts it even more. When she describes the tradition of the belly song, she's giving a perspective not only on purpose, but where purpose comes from. According to the story, your purpose is a combination of your greatest good and your best desire. The aspect of your personality which is most important to you, which you identify by, and what you wish to do with that part of yourself. Those things burn together in your belly like a hot coal, making you want to wail them out to all the world. This is what purpose means in the story. It's not an external thing that you can find and integrate. It's a thing which exists within you. It's something which you must see through the layers of desire and obligation in order to find, something you must give voice through your actions. If creativity is at the center of who you are, you must find a way to create. If it's compassion, you must find a way to care. And if, like Teresa, it's justice, you must find a way to bring that to the people around you. That is what it means to live a life of purpose. That is how you sing your belly song. But there is a danger here. Kyra also says that the coal grows cold over time, that if you don't sing your belly song, the fire may die and you may never sing it again. That idea feels so painfully tragic to me, and I think it's because it's true. There are a lot of things that can keep you from living a life of purpose. Not everyone has the luxury of time or the education to conduct that search, and even if they do, they might not have the time to act on what they find in a meaningful way. Purpose can sit like a stone inside you, cold and quiet. The song can go unsung. But even a small effort can warm it. You don't have to make a masterpiece, just make any art at all. You don't have to become a doctor, just help people however you can. You don't have to change the world, just make your little part of it better. A quiet song is still a song, and will not die. And for those of you who do have the luxury to search deep and sing loud, be cautious. It's very easy to deceive yourself. Easy to think that the acquisition of happiness or wealth or status or pride are your purpose. But those are desires. Those are goals. They reward, but they do not sing, because they are not a part of you. Trust me, 100,000 subscribers sort of became a purpose for a while, but when we got there, there was no song, no special warmth. In fact, I remember that we all felt sort of cold inside at the time. We finally realized how tired we were from spending so much effort on something that had to come to an end. We would have rather been singing that whole time, instead of hoping for the product to do that for us. It's what we try to do now, make what matters to us, and enjoy the process as much as possible. And you know, maybe you'll be different. Maybe you'll achieve those goals, and you will feel content. Maybe it will bring you some measure of happiness. But like Kyra says, contentment is its own curse. We forget our cry as newborns. We grow old and content, and unless we try very, very hard, we never wail our belly song again. Purpose is the self-sustaining fire, the coal which warms itself. Forgetting purpose, pursuing things which bring you no closer to the need at your center, the one which identifies you, you allow your belly song to die. The coal grows cold, and it may never warm again. A purpose abandoned is for many a purpose lost, and that's no way to live. But a purpose protected, searched for, pursued even in the smallest ways, it makes its own heat. It lasts, which means that in practical terms, and a little paradoxically, the way to live a life full of purpose and meaning is to continuously pursue a life full of those things, even when it seems a long way off. Stay hungry, do the things that matter to you, make the things you truly wish to make, but only because the process matters. Contentment is the end, fulfillment is the constant beginning. Find something you can be happy doing, something that never finishes, and simply do it. Sing your belly song. I imagine that for a lot of you watching this video, that will involve being creative somehow, making stuff up. But one of the hard parts of that process is just knowing where to begin. Let's say you know your purpose and want to spend time pursuing it. Where? How? With what tools? It can be a lot, especially if you writers, game masters, game developers, everyone who wants to create whole worlds and entire stories. There's a tool a lot of creatives I know have been using that's made it worlds easier, so to speak, turned the process from something daunting into something not only manageable, but fun. It's called World Anvil. If you're personally stuck at this part of the process, I really, really recommend you give it a try. If you're not familiar, World Anvil is a place online where you can go to build things. It's basically like a big toolbox. You can link together your content and your notes, kind of like a wiki, so you never get lost again. You can create timelines, family trees, turn your maps into interactive experiences with markers and locations and everything else, all linked to the rest of your project. It doesn't really matter if creating to you means writing, game development, tabletop role-playing. World Anvil has templates and layouts for all of it. And I know part of the reservation with tools like that is it's the internet and, what if someone gets a hold of this idea that you've been working on? What if it gets stolen? I wouldn't worry about that, because World Anvil is extremely secure. You get to choose who you want to share your creations with, whether they're going to be public or completely private. And once you have something you're really happy with, that's not even the end of it. The platform also has built-in novel writing software to write, plan, plot, and, shockingly, even publish your stories. As in publish for money. The real deal. Go to worldanvil.com/talefoundry to sign up. You can get it for free, but I recommend joining the guild, which will unlock a veritable arsenal of amazing features like an even wider variety of privacy settings, interesting new presentation options, and so much more. Use code TALEFoundry to save up to 40% on a yearly membership. Again, that's worldanvil.com/TaleFoundry, and the code, of course, is TaleFoundry. Feel free to come back and link us to your projects once you've started them. I'll be eager to see what you're working on. Anyway, that's it for this video. There's usually a week or so between uploads, so if you want more TaleFoundry in the meantime, we'd love to see you on our Discord server. It's like a warm, cozy family of creatives. A lot of love and support there. The perfect place to start searching for your purpose as an artist. Until next time, thanks for watching, and keep making stuff up. Bye!